Good evening, Ruskin enjoyers. Hope you're doing right, because it's time to showcase a skin. What? Isn't this predictions? Yes, it is. I made a mistake, a real bad mistake. So in my Rust Rotation stream, and of course the video, unfortunately with SCMM not functioning properly, it wasn't updating. We couldn't see like all the skins on display and whatnot. And so as I was showcasing all the skins on stream, as I was like going through and yapping and whatnot as per usual, unfortunately I didn't realise we skipped this. The Dominus Mortis AK-47 produced by Yan and Denuvo. A very nice gold trim design on an AK-47. Get a good look at that at night time. Not super noticeable, but I didn't showcase it, and that's on me. So I do apologise to skin creators. There was no like bad intent there, just clumsiness. I'm an idiot. That's on me, and I do apologise. And I apologise to you, the viewers, because of course you come to look at me, see all the skins and whatnot. And that is a very nice looking AK. So of course let's now hop on stage and give that a good look as well. But of course first of all, I want to see what this looks like at the night. Right next to some lights. Look at the shine there. That's a very nice, cool design there with the dead body, all the skulls. The gold really does stand out quite nicely there. Striker pose, look pretty. And here we go. So yes, once again I do apologise to the skin creators. I want to make sure I get a very good look at that design there. And I ask you, predictors, what weapon would you like to see next? What do you reckon would look very cool with this design? And once again to Yana Denuvo, my sincere apologies. That's my screw up. I'm so sorry. But at the very least, I hope we got a good look at it now. And so let's now hop out of here, look at the Rust store, and question what's potentially looking to be a very nice potential investment for the week. So yeah, it hasn't updated. No June 26, unfortunately. And status page, running behind schedule. There's issues, unfortunately. So throughout the video, whilst we can still functionally use like SCMD.app, we can't see the actual Rust store, we can't see all the numbers, the subscriber counts and whatnot. So yeah, we'll have to start from here, I guess. So out of all these skins, which one's potentially the best investment for this week? In terms of reliability, in terms of individually, if it was all by itself, the No Mercy Sheet Metal Double Door is probably the best bet. So if we could just quickly hop over to here, I'll just close that for now. I just want to go to the previous week, because we literally just had a Twisted Metal Sheet Metal Double Door. Now, initially, with that skin, I was a bit concerned because all the other Twisted Metal skins, all the other deplorables there, not looking very reliable. Bit awkward. But I did say, during that week, the Twisted Metal Sheet Metal Double Door was probably the most reliable thing to look at. And lo and behold, look at all the skins here. Some of them did turn out to be a little bit more interesting. We'll talk about that in a bit. But it has done a very good job of retaining its price and staying in the positive. And when you look at the listings and when you look at the buy orders, it's got a lot of support. It's not going down. It's looking all right. It's doing perfectly fine. But more specifically, if you looked at every single Sheet Metal Double Door that came out over the past 2 or so years, every non-holiday skin is doing perfect. So yeah, Lunar New Year, Christmas, Halloween, okay, that's a bit awkward. But then look at all the other skins, recent ones, doing all right. Yep. And then the ones that came out last year, they are doing very good. Lots of skins in the green. In fact, do you see any in the red? Not really. They're doing perfectly fine. That's working out wonderfully. So, point made. A No Mercy Sheet Metal Double Door is that certainly is going to be very appealing. And of course, if you want to get a good look at it, consider watching my Rust Rotation video. Get a good look at it up close. It doesn't glow. It's not transparent, but it is a No Mercy skin. And of course, No Mercy just so happens to be the largest collection in the game that we have in Rust. So give that a good look. Lots of skins there, from weapons and tools to a fairly decent amount of deplorables to, of course, a complete collection of clothing and armor. So there very likely is a lot of like demand there. Hopefully it works out nicely, but by default, people do appreciate Sheet Metal Double Doors. Loads of people kept asking me over the past few months, where are they? Because in comparison to last year, we've got like next to nothing. But this week, we also do have the Twitch drop, so let me just quickly point this out. We do currently have the Staryuki Sheet Metal Double Door that's being given away for free. Perhaps that might lead to people not feeling the need to buy the Sheet Metal Double Door. Perhaps that could lead to some fairly low sales. And you might question, is that a bad thing? Not for us, the skin investors. No. So, I will point this out. I do believe the Sheet Metal Double Door is like the 5th best selling skin So if that's, remains to be the case, that very likely won't have too many listings, very likely will flourish. But to get potentially the best profit out of it, you might have to hold on to it for a year. But you just saw a minute ago, all the skins that came out from last year, they're up in price. They're doing good. So, okay, fair enough. Seems reliable. Of all the remaining skins, what's also look to be fairly appealing? Island Assault Team Roadsign gloves. You just saw a minute ago, that's up in price. And if you were to look over to here, yeah, yes it is. Yeah, oh yeah. Before we even had the collection continuation, these were getting bought out. People seem to appreciate the matte grey design, that meaning it doesn't like shine. Grey out could potentially flourish as well, because we are fully well aware there's also hoodie and pants currently in the workshop, but they weren't accepted. In fact, the boots and gloves were submitted after, and then, of course, got the gloves accepted, not the boots though. Not sure what's going on there, but it's not the first time something like that's happened. But anyway, back to this. We could still anticipate hoodie and pants. Maybe some brand new tier 2 pieces will be made over the course of this weekend. And I'm pretty sure the skin creator is fully well aware of that, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of people have been asking, knocking on his door. Because, yeah, a lot of people suddenly start realising that, oh, hang on a minute, this is a pretty cool looking design. So that's just been going up. That's just been going up. It's just been bought out ridiculously. And, well, with that, well, both of these pieces, almost selling 20,000 subscribers, back over to here, looking at these Roadsign gloves, is that going to reach 20,000 subscribers? Or is it going to sell a more modest amount? So let me just kind of bring this up. The lowest selling clothing and armor piece in a full collection tends to mean most expensive. Because in theory, if you want to get like a full collection, there's only so many you can have. And the one with the lowest amount, well, there you go. So if this sells reasonably, let's say if it only does about 15,000 subscribers, but then we see hoodie and pants and tier 2, of course that's going to spike them on spike in price. And of course, I'm pretty confident these are going to spike them on spike in price as well. Things are looking very appealing, but will it actually match up, or will it sell maybe too much? Because of course, those Roadsign gloves are 99 cents each. But I can confirm to you, basically, those gloves are like the third or fourth best selling skin. Now you can go on micro522.com, you can click the accepted tab and tag there, and you can look at subscribers this way. This does update, and based on what you can see over to here, so with the gloves 3,500, the garage door there with 4,400, you also happen to have the L96 there with 3,800. Like, it's not the highest selling skin, but it's still selling reasonably, still selling better than the lowest selling skins. In short, you probably don't have too much to worry. That very likely might be something I personally want to buy, because things are lining up very nicely, and a lot of people really do seem to be liking this whole collection. So keep an eye out on the workshop over the course of this weekend. Maybe we'll see more of the collection, and maybe it does progress. Maybe it does flourish quite nicely. Oh, yes. So keep those hands nice and anticipating. Right then, so let's look at the remaining skins. What's also looking to be a very nice investment. Cryo Furnace. It's a very nice sci-fi design, and of course a collection continuation to the fairly recent small box and the fridge skin. So let's just quickly look this up. Cryo collection. So this has been cooked up by Thuff, who's been making many skins. But of course it started off with the glow-in-the-dark transparent fridge, which a lot of people have been appreciating ever since it came out, because that's currently in the Steam market at $5.50. Lots of support there. Doesn't look like that's going down anytime soon. But you've got to look at the workshop to see everything he's been cooking, because unfortunately we never saw the sheet metal door and the sheet metal double door. Very cool transparent glow-in-the-dark designs, but unfortunately they haven't been accepted yet. Maybe he resubmits them, maybe they do get accepted in the future. But the point I'm trying to get across is there is still more out there that could be accepted. And it's not just this. We also happen to have the recent locker skin, which I've made a short video of, so go give that a good look. But the actual design itself, the furnace, it's nice. Consider watching my rust rotation video to see that for yourself. A very nice sci-fi, very cool white interior design there. And the reason I bring that up is because furnaces with different coloured interiors, other than yellow, orange and red, tend to work out quite nicely as investments. So let's just take a look at all the furnaces that have come out over the past 2 years. And number one, please be aware, the vast majority aren't doing very good. A lot of them are in the negative. Look at all these ones. Oh dear. But just to remind you, the Valentine's Blaze Furnace with the pink interior. That isn't exactly doing super great. But Frozen Crypt is, with its light blue. You got Ultramarine there with the dark blue. Funnily enough, you have Otherworldly doing pretty good there, but that's got like a very weird looking design. Nothing wrong with that. Polished Obsidian last year as well. That's still an orange interior, but that still worked out nicely. But then you have like Neon Vibes with the pink interior. But what about Spider Cocoon? Well, true, but that's been actually a lot worse. That also sold like an absurd amount, and that's slowly recovering every like month I look at it. So keep an eye on that. That nice light green interior is probably getting appreciated. But yeah, you still will see the majority of the furnaces are in a negative. So don't just assume it's going to be A-OK, perfectly fine. It's also like the second best selling skin at the moment. So be a little bit wary, be a little bit cautious. It's abnormal. You don't have to rush into buying it. Now, some of you are going to probably sit there and say, what on earth are you on about? Well, let's just quickly hop over to here. Here is my most recent Rust Skin Abnormal Barders video for June 26, 2025. Consider watching the first 5 minutes of this, scroll down, click the Barders chapter, and in short, you'll get the general gist that abnormal skins, they become marketable at set time before the Rust even rotates. And we know exactly when they become marketable. So we'll hop in on my stream on Wednesday. We'll figure out and discuss what prices we might want to offer the skins. Once we get that figured out, when the skins literally become marketable, we'll race to get those barders down, and then afterwards we'll look at all the skins, see how many barders they have each, how high the prices go, and we'll feel a lot more confident whether we actually want to jump in and purchase the skin straight from the Rust store. And last night, when we did this, we had the Heatseeker Revolver, the only transparent aim sight pay-to-win revolver skin we have in the game. Part of the very in demand Heatseeker collection. I questioned it, I did my barders, I looked at it afterwards, it had barders going all the way up to like $2.80, and there was a lot of barders. It looked like it was going to be very reliable, I felt confident in it, and I ended up buying 200 of them. That's how it goes. So if you want to be smarter in terms of how you approach doing buy orders or, trying to make investments, consider understanding what abnormals are. So, okay, that's cool, that's nice. Let's now move on and start talking about the other skins. So, out of all of these, which ones potentially look to be quite appealing? I think by default I have to talk about the still primitive skins, the poncho, the boonie hat, the bandana. They look nice, they look cool. They're not selling that much. They are like the second lowest selling skins as a group, I should clarify. But yeah, if I could just quickly grab one of these, there you go. It might not be for everyone, but if we see leather gloves, hide boots, hide clothing, doesn't matter. So as long as you see a collection continuation, that could still spike a price. It is like core pieces. The more you get, well, the better. And, it is kind of green. What a lovely picture in the jungle. But I wouldn't be surprised the skin creators probably will consider, let's go make more. And I would definitely approve of that. I'd love to see some steel hide boots. That sounds funny. But the hide stuff as well, that'd be pretty sweet. You could be like a man made out of metal, scrap metal, you're on a budget. But it's all part of the design. Quite literally a DIY sort of like, I'll grab whatever I can to protect myself. That's cool, I like it. And I think these guys have made a very nice looking skin for what it is. But obviously it might not appeal to everyone. I get that. But if you do see those collection continuations, yes, I can see that working out very nicely. So keep an eye on it, but keep an eye on their workshop more specifically, which I should have kind of showed you there. So here we are. Here's Oasis's workshop, and let's see what gets made next. All right. Leather gloves, hide boots, hide clothing, burlap clothing, you name it. Disco mask. I wouldn't say no, but yeah, we need to see more. So keep an eye out. And if we do see more being accepted, maybe next week, the week after, oh yeah, it'd be very good. But you shouldn't expect anything next week because we're getting friend theme skins next week. I'll explain more about that a little bit later. All right then, so, okay, cool, understood. I think I'll talk about Nuke Vibe Garage Door now. So this is a very cool looking glow-in-the-dark design. Please consider watching my Rust rotation video to get a good look at that. But basically, it's a garage door. It's also the top selling skin. Now, that doesn't really surprise me because it's a very, very, very cool looking design. But yes, if you've seen it in game, like I showcased in my Rust rotation video, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people want to buy it. But there's always going to be another garage door. And that's a very odd thing to say, I guess. But how many garage doors have we had so far this year? we're past the halfway point in 2025 and we've already got 21 skins. And obviously, we don't see the new one because SEM's not working properly, but you get the idea. Last year, we had a record-breaking amount where we ended up with 34. We're just past halfway and we already have 21. Oh, yeah. So, in short, we keep breaking the record for the most garage doors in a single year, and because we have so many constantly being given to us or put in rust doors and whatnot, look at all the prices. They're all down. They're struggling to keep your attention. They're struggling to maintain their prices. It's a problem, but it keeps on happening. And with more and more garage doors being accepted, problems. Now, at the very least, right? That's a very cool, very standout, very interesting looking design. I wouldn't be surprised if they probably delve into making some deplorables. Sheet metal double door, armored door, large box, you name it. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot more of it, a collection. Let's keep an eye out for that. I'm sure a lot of people would approve, and that's got a lot of comments. Wow, that's a lot. Anyway, it's a garage door. You got to be a little bit wary. You got to be a little bit concerned. That's why I've mentioned it now. So at $3, that might be a bit troublesome. It is the top selling skin as well, just to clarify. So okay, maybe a smart barter might be the way to go about it. All right, fair enough. That's probably the better way to go about it. It's abnormal, so wait till Wednesday. Okay. Looking at the remaining skins, I think now I have to talk about the big toe boots. How long will it be funny? I'm not trying to sound mean, but how long will it be funny? Because that's selling at $2, right? And just for a pair of boots, is it going to always be funny? I mean, to a point, I think everybody will be aware of it and they'll probably buy it as a joke. I mean, I'm sure you bought some of the funny things like the chicken costume or whatnot, and you still like to run around in that and whatnot. But how often do you even like using boots? I've had a lot of people not too upset with the lack of Island Assault boots today because they're like, you know what? I don't even like wearing boots. They make sound. Ugh. Okay, fair enough. But can you anticipate collection continuations? Coffee can helmet, like toe. Spy Kids. If you watch the Rust Rotation video, you'll see a very fun intro. But $2. I don't think it's going to maintain that price. I think you're better off with a smart buy order. By all means, if you want to buy a pair for yourself, cool. But as an investment, I'm not feeling it, I'm afraid, sorry to say. I don't think that's going to hold forever. It is abnormal, so we don't have to rush into making a purchase or rather making an investment. Let's do those barters first, look at it afterwards, then we'll make a consideration. But I just don't really feel that confident. I don't feel like that's going to be retaining its price, and I don't think everyone's going to always find it funny and the price stays up. And yeah, but a collection continuation very likely will be helping out. Now that isn't exactly the top selling skin. It's like one of the lowest selling ones, which is fine. It's fine. But even then, I'm not really sure it's going to be maintaining that $2 price. Let's keep an eye out on the Skin Creators Workshop at the very least. So here we go. Mr. Hafner, yep. He is a newer skin creator. He hasn't had that many skins accepted, and he doesn't have that many in his workshop either. I would be surprised if he's going to ride the momentum and make some more big toe stuff. What will it be? Keep an eye on his workshop. It's right there. Okay, so you get the idea. Cool. Right then, so remaining skins. I think I now want to talk about the Isoparam L96. It's one of the higher selling skins at the moment. I think it's third. But there is a bit of a concern. And what is that? Well, basically, it's an L96. Very cool shiny design. I do anticipate a lot more of these skins being produced and potentially accepted. It's a very cool looking design for the AK-47s there. However, L96s, by default, maybe it's a thing in regards to how often do you even use the L96? Yeah, with justification to own skins. Now you look at the prices and you see, oh well, there's only one of them that's currently in the positive, which of course is the blackout one. Now, very helpfully, very helpful. It's very helpful to look at the Redemption L96 because that was very recent. It's also a very shiny looking L96. Words, sorry, but it's down in price. That's not all the way down, but it still went down. And I can't help but assume our brand new L96 is probably going to behave the exact same way. Probably end up at around $2. Maybe when times are bad, it'll go lower. Sure. But I think the smartest way to go about it is with a buy order. And of course, with a smart buy order, you can still lead to some success, you know. What if I did like a $1 buy order on this? Chances are I probably would have bought a few of these, which I have, and I could sell them right now, make a little bit of profit. Is it worth the effort? Well, but that at the very least, the brand new L96 I'm talking about, that is abnormal, I do believe. Just to confirm, yes it is. It's got a very nice, colourful design, and it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of people do happen to want to use it and appreciate it. Now, another thing to just quickly point out, you can't see it super well here, so consider watching my rust rotation video. Look at the chapters, skip ahead to the L96. They have coloured in, white lines, and at night time you can see them very easily. They have very good night light. So if you're thinking, oh, I want a super helpful L96 to use at night time, yeah. But is everyone going to be thinking, oh, well, that's cool, I need that? But then again, if someone of notoriety points it out, I wouldn't be surprised everybody wants to suddenly buy it then. Oh my gosh, it's a pay-to-win L96. So yeah, maybe, but still not exactly feeling it, not exactly feeling super confident, so point made. Cool. So looking at the remaining skins, Bone Box, I'm a bit conflicted. It's got a transparent design, looks cool. You can hide it in certain bushes and whatnot in the jungle. Yeah, you can do that. You could do you can also do it in the desert. You can hide it in rocks in the desert and whatnot, or on rocks or next to rocks and whatnot. But overall, as a transparent design, we already have Bamboo Small Box. However, that is still holding up quite nicely. So that was in the rust store for the last rust store of May. Yep, there we go. It is still retaining its price quite nicely, as you'll see here. So, yep, Bardus is still there. Prices aren't too ridiculous. Could probably rise back up again. We just haven't seen a collection continuation in a while. But it's not profitable now anymore. So, that also did 26,000 subscribers, if I could just quickly clarify. That sold an absurd amount. But once word got around for its transparency and whatnot, that was special, that was unique when it first came out. Yeah, it sold a lot. The Bone Box is the second or last, lowest selling skin. It's not selling absurdly. That could very likely help it out. But at $2.49, I'm still unsure. So we'll see. It's abnormal though, so we can race to put Bardus down Wednesday night going to Thursday morning. It is a collection continuation as well. That's actually a collection continuation to the Bone Poncho and the Bone Bandana. So maybe we'll get more clothing and armor out of that. Maybe we'll get more deplorables out of that. Keep an eye on the workshop, which you can see if you go over to here. Let's go and see the bone stuff. Where are you? Bone, 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 bone. This is produced by Zihan. Yep, get good at that. And keep an eye out for what he produces next. Maybe he makes some other weapons. Maybe he does go back to the Bone Collection after an acceptance. We'll see, but chances are most likely he will go back to the Bone Collection. So, yeah, cool. Best of luck then. Let's see if we do see a collection continuation. I'm still a bit iffy though. Transparent small boxes are no longer a very unique thing for just one specific skin. And I wouldn't surprise me if we start seeing a lot more now. They would look cool on shelves, would say that. A lot of people bringing it up to me earlier today. But is it actually keep the demand? Will people appreciate bones in the future? Shadow Hopper might. If we ever do see anything that follows up from the Shadow Hopper thing from last year, like maybe some bone building skins perhaps, the bone walls, maybe that does flourish. Maybe a lot of people will be wanting to buy that. We'll have to keep an eye out. Let's see what happens maybe around Halloween. We'll see. Remember, they did put that tweet out talking about the concept. Let's see if we see anything about that in a few months' time. Anyway, moving on. We now have the AK-47. And once again, I do apologise in regards to making that massive screw up. But with the way SCMM has been today, yeah, things weren't very well organised. But it is my fault. It is my fault, and I do apologise once again. But in regards to the AK-47, we currently right now do have 2 AK-47s being given away for free, which you can see over here. So twitch.facebook.com, you can see we have the Cryo AK-47 and we have the default general drop AK-47. Both of them have transparent aim sights. Both of them have very cool stylish designs. Now this of course has a very cool stylish design, but its aim sight isn't that much. Sorry to say, but you've seen the stupid things we've been seeing at the moment, the transparent aim sights and whatnot. Heatseeker collection. I'm not sure if Dominus Mortis is going to stand out enough. Now, maybe it does flourish as a potential weapon-only collection. That's cool, but most weapon-only collections don't really work out super great. Being brutally honest, I mean, I'm sure you've heard me talk about this many times over the years. So, at the very least, if you thought it looked cool, by all means, buy it, use it, enjoy it, support the skin creators, keep them nice and motivated, keep put out nice creative designs in the future. But as an investment, you're better off waiting until Wednesday, and that is not abnormal. So that might be a concern. And all you have to do is to take a quick look at all the AK-47s that came out so far this year, and I think you'll probably get the general gist. So take a look at this. How many of them are actually in the positive? I believe it's just 2. That, of course, being the Heatseeker AK-47 and the Sakura AK-47. All the other ones are down. And if you take a look at all the AKs from the previous year, well, you've got the Popstar AK, that's doing all right. Then we have Apocalypse Nomad, and then we have Thunder Gold. Black Diamond started to slip. Oh dear, oh dear. But out of all of these skins, only 3 of them are in the positive. So, we'll keep an eye out for you, Dominus Mortis, but unfortunately, it might not be perfect. At the very least, though, if you like a skin, you could just go buy it, treat yourself. I've already given you the whole spiel, so cool. Let's now talk about some other things. So, what to expect with next week? Well, next week will be July Forcewipe. We should anticipate an early rust rotation. But for the skins we're going to see, well, I have to inform you, things have been planned. So, over to here, we can see certain things are being mentioned. And, well, you can see like Pilot Hazmat DLC's been mentioned for July 2025. Although we haven't seen anything like on staging. Maybe that's going to be a surprise that we're going to see over the course of the next 7 days. I'm not sure. Livestock animals is another very weird one. That's the first thing we saw here. Cows. Cows? What? Camouflage? Anyway, that was like first mentioned like 2 months ago. And then very recently, they're pointing out they got animations for them. I'm not sure if that's actually ready for July. We'll see. Maybe they might have like a preview trailer or something. I don't know. But what I got to talk about is that the party system will be implemented and friend-themed skins were requested. What on earth are friend-themed skins? Well, if you were to go over to here, here, yep. In the most recent batch of Rust skin submissions, as you can see here, my Rust Workshop skin checks, which of course I can also point out the video is here. Ta-da! All collection continuations are here. Ta-da! Consider watching that video to be informed. Ta-da! Anyway, there was a lot of like friend-themed skins. You just saw the fridge there, very nice homely design. That's also the first ever 2K resolution fridge to be submitted. Yep, they've got a boost, so you might be seeing some very nice, very cool visuals on fridges soon. I'm aware that neon fridges might be happening. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye on Duck's Twitter. Anyway, so over to here, you'll see the likes of some cool rugs. Where is it? There you go. You'll see some cool garage doors that are all like friend-themed. There you go. And yeah, you're going to see a lot of like friend skins with the introduction of the party system. Now, if you don't know what the party system is, basically you can form a party before you even join a server. The party leader can go join a server, and once he's in, everybody else in the party, you just get straight in, no queue. That's how it works now, apparently. Might just be for specific servers, might be for everything in general. Not everybody is super happy about that, but that seems to be what is definitely coming out next week. So, okay. So a lot of friend-themed skins have been produced, and they very likely will be accepted next week. This looks like the Free Kittens gif with the fire around. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, there's a lot of friend-themed skins that were produced and whatnot. So consider looking at my short videos in which I showcase a lot of stuff that could potentially be accepted. I've got to point out that sheepman, a double door right there. That is just cool. And it also has transparent holes right there as well. It also happens to glow in the dark. Wow. So yes, you might not be seeing continuations literally next week. Be prepared for such a thing. But at least you are aware now. Alright? So early rust rotation next week. Friends, theme skins being accepted, party system implemented. Now, other things such as snap deplorables, nice quality of life feature. Basically, you can quite literally snap your TCs, your large boxes, your furnaces as close as you can to the walls. Not too hard to comprehend. And then we also happen to see that we're going to actually get the legacy wood external gates actually being added to the general store now. So, of course, we had the adobe stone walls, the stone high walls, and the gate and whatnot. Now we're going to get the wood one, the legacy wood one. Not sure what happened. Maybe they weren't fully happy with it, but it looks like that's nice and ready for next week for July Forcewipe. Cool. And then, as I've already mentioned, we have the fridge textures. They've been upgraded to 2K. Maybe we'll start seeing some other skins getting like a nice boost such as that. Yeah, that would be nice. much more smoother, very nice, pristine looking skins. So, there's another thing that needs to be addressed. TGG has a brand new server, and basically there's a new idea, a new approach in which every month they want to kind of like give boost, like a boost to an item that doesn't get that many skins. So for July, salvaged ice picks. Over the course of July, you're going to see a lot more submissions for salvaged ice pick skins, and it's expected that we'll see some accepted. I'm not sure how many, but if I could just quickly point this out to you, we don't have that many of them, and I think the last one to be accepted was back in 2018, so salvaged ice pick, there you go, only 8, right, only 8, and they're all quite expensive now, but when we see a lot more newer ones, oh no, they might drop off in price, we'll see. But what might be next? Water purifier, chairs, tables, wooden double doors. Technically speaking, we haven't had a single armoured door accepted in all of 2025. Could that be considered quite rare? We'll see. But you get the idea. So every month from now on, something that doesn't normally get that many skins accepted will get a lot of focus, and very likely will be getting quite a lot more skins accepted. So cool. At least you're aware of that. So that's nice. Now some of you are going to sit there and say, but why not new Skinnables? No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not in charge of that. But yeah, cool. So sorry about the issues with SCMM, and again, sorry to the skin creator for the AK-47, but hopefully this will be fixed over the course of Friday, and we'll get a good visual of all the skins, and we can be, a little bit happier. But I'm very, very upset with myself that I made that mistake. I'm so sorry. And I'll make sure I never do that again, because even this week for a short video I made a mistake and I left it in. So not a good week for me. I try my best to do the best that I can, and I hope you're not too upset with me. So have a splendid week. And one extra thing I should probably talk about, I probably will be doing a follow-up video to this, because a lot of you are talking about how like Ghost Guys keeps going up in price and certain things are getting bought out and whatnot. Nothing wrong with that, but I should probably make a video to talk about the progress with the summer and the anticipation for a lot of people to turn up for July Forcewipe, especially that now we are currently seeing the Steam summer sale out. So Rust is a lot more cheaper now. You're very likely to be seeing a lot more people jump in for the July Forcewipe. We very likely could see a lot more people playing, hopefully. A lot more than June at the very least, but June didn't have a big update. Jungle update came out in May, didn't it? So, okay, fair enough. Still good, just hope for better, didn't we? But at the very least, as I said, I usually expect July and August to have the best prices, in general, for all Rust skins. And of course, right now, all the Twitch drops are currently dropping for Bellum free. If you want to get a good look at all the skins, a lovely showcase video is right there that I produced, and you can go give them all a good look, and they all have chapters. Cool. So yeah, thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Catch you later. Say goodbye.